Welcome back. In this video, we're going to be reading and discussing some AITAs. I've got Reddit pulled up. Let's jump right into it. AITA for refusing to pay for Father's Day dinner. Too broad. I don't even have an initial opinion. Let's just read. Hi all. I don't think I'm the a-hole here, but it's hard not to feel like one when my mom definitely believes that's the case, while my dad doesn't even know it happened. For context, I, 24, female, live alone while my 19 male brother lives at home. My mom texted me 3 days before Father's Day and told me that she was taking my dad and the family, 4 adults and 1 child, out to dinner at a fancy restaurant, and she wanted me and my brother to split the bill for it. NTA. I formed my opinion so dang fast. NTA. That's your plan. You pay for it. You don't get to dictate the plans and then have a... That's weird. That's really weird. I told her to think about it and discuss with my brother. I called my brother and he told me that he was trying to save up to move out of the house, and my mom already borrowed money from him to fund her business. Why am I not surprised to hear that? My dad earns less than $140K a year, and mom has not worked for 10 plus years. Recently, she started a business on Facebook, which has seen some success, but not enough to break even yet. I felt it wasn't right to ask my little brother, who makes not very much money a year, to already contribute financially to also help pay for the dinner. However, that was a problem for me as I don't make that much money, and I'm supporting myself and saving for car repairs. I kind of paraphrase that part because she puts a lot of numbers, and I don't do numbers. So I thought of some alternatives and told my mom that while I couldn't pay for dinner, I'd be happy to buy groceries and cook for them, or to pay for my own meal. My mom told me that groceries would cost just as much as a restaurant. No, it's being difficult on purpose, bitch. Sorry. I'm fired up. While I held my ground, she backtracked and told me paying for my own meal was fine, but she hopes I plan better in the future. I'm getting angry. This was your plan, ma'am, not mine. Later, I got some texts from my brother. His mom asked him to cover the dinner anyways. When he refused, she yelled at him for ganging up on her with me. I feel bad for these kids. Holy crap. She told him that since I didn't pay for anything for her on Mother's Day, she just didn't want that to happen to Dad. Now, I did have to work on Mother's Day, and I can understand if she was still upset about that. In my defense, I did call her and wish her well on that day. And I went up there later in the week with gifts and a card for her. Hello? She did get a gift. What are you talking about? Things were a bit tense during Father's Day dinner, though Dad did seem happy. At the end, I sent my mom the money for my food, so we didn't have to split the check, and my mom made a big deal out of it. My dad was confused and told me that while he appreciated me contributing, he didn't mind paying since he knows it's hard supporting myself, and he appreciates that I was able to come at all. Love you, Dad. My mom's been ticked off ever since. I struggled a lot with keeping healthy boundaries with her, and completely on her, girl, not on you. And I felt like this was a major step forward for me. She keeps implying that it was my fault that I didn't have that much money to spend and that I'm refusing to go along with things out of spite. I'm tired of all the games. Am I the a-hole here? No. Hard and fast, absolute not. You didn't even come up with that plan. You're not expected to pay for it. And also, yeah, it's just like, you don't have to pay for something to appreciate someone. Like you said, you didn't have all this money to go out to a specifically fancy dinner to appreciate your dad. So you were coming up with alternatives that were within your budget. That way you could still go out of your way to appreciate him, without being financially irresponsible. Like, that's insane. And also, this mother sounds very financially irresponsible to be demanding money from your kid. I think it's weird to even ask it all, but I understand some situations might be weird. But to demand money from your children is kind of crazy, particularly for you just starting at your own business. Like, they're just helping you out. They don't have to help you out. Like, they kind of should because they're fam, right? But, like, you don't have to. Particularly when you're being entitled and demanding. I'm just at a hard and fast, no, you are not the a-hole here. This wasn't your plan. You tried to make it work as best you could. And you didn't even ask the dad anything. You know what I mean? You didn't request that the dad pay. The dad is the one that says, no, I'm doing that. You know what I mean? Like, he put that on himself. I think it would be weird to ask him to pay for things, given that it's a celebration for him. But if he just offers out of nowhere, that's not weird. And in fact, I do think that makes sense because it seems to me like really the only person who has a good amount of money in this situation is the dad. So if you want to do something that requires a good amount of money, it's gonna have to be on the dad. He's the only one with a good amount of money. Like, that just is what it is. We can not like it all we want, but that is what it is. Let me read down, and I'm quite sure the comments are gonna say NTA. If they don't, I will be shocked. NTA, I'm the well-off sibling who pays for any dinners, trips, concert. I honestly don't mind as long as we had a good time. If your dad is like me, he's just happy you came. See, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I don't know, like with me and my friends, or like me and my ex, like we would kind of switch off where it was like at certain points, like he was going to school and I was working. Or it's just like different things, you know what I mean? Or like when I got injured and then he got a job. So it's just like, I kind of like relied on whoever had money at the time, or like back in high school with my friends, like sometimes my mom would give me money and my friends wouldn't. Both movie tickets were on me that day. And then the next time when her mom gave her money, the yogurt was on her instead of me. You know what I mean? So it was just like, I don't know. It's kind of difficult when money, like not everybody in your circle has the same amount of money, because people with more money are going to expect to do nicer things and spend their money. But they have to kind of understand, if you want people with less money to do that with you, you're going to have to help it out. Like, that's just how it is. NTA, your mom doesn't get it. She probably can't imagine living on less than 25% of the money they have now. Don't take it to heart. NTA, you offered a logical alternative. You are all adults. If your mom wants to organize a nice dinner, she should not be counting on someone else paying for it. Yeah. NTA, clearly it seems like the actual father was fine with the Father's Day, so no harm, no foul. As far as your mom, she quotes the line where, I told you that since I didn't pay for anything for Mother's Day, she just didn't want that to happen to my dad. Yeah, this is payback. So in context, you might have been TA in the past over a different conflict, but you aren't here. No, I vehemently disagree with that. If you have to work, see that, I just, like the way my fam does it is like just around the holiday, whenever everybody can get together, or at least most of us, we just do. Like, and so they're kind of referencing back in when she had to work on Mother's Day and ended up coming later in the week. Hello, we're adults. We have to work. Like, what do you mean? I just can't even imagine. Like, I didn't celebrate Mother's Day until 3 weeks afterwards, because my mom wanted us all together, and that's hard to do. So we did it, but it had to be at a later date, and she was 1,000,000% fine with that. Like, of course. I don't know. Your mom has issues that she's hiding from your dad and taking it out on you and your brother. NTA, does your dad even know that your mom borrowed money from your brother? I feel like he would not be okay with that. Yeah, seriously, actually, that's kind of a good point. Yeah, basically everybody agrees with a hard and fast NTA. That wasn't your plan. You're not responsible for it. Okay, this one seems interesting. AITA for taking up my wife's workout time. I mean, for what? For something important? No. For something frivolous? Kinda. I, 33 male, try to run several times a week, but I do it in the mornings, like 6-ish, because of work, and it will give me an hour with our baby and toddler to help with the morning before the day starts. Great. We're off to a great start. My wife, 30 female, is a stay-at-home mom and likes to work out at the gym and yoga studio, both which are great because they offer childcare. Generally, the plan is that I run in the mornings before everyone gets up, and she works out in the mornings during the workday because there's childcare. I know that she often prefers the early morning classes at her gym and yoga studio, and will sometimes schedule it so that she can go and I just run during lunch or late afternoon. I will say that I prefer morning runs because it starts my day off right, and it's really hot and humid where we live right now. This week, we planned on me running every morning. On our walk last night, she asked, there's no chance of me being able to work out in the morning, is there? I just kind of replied with saying I prefer to run in the morning, and also referenced the heat wave we're currently in. Fast forward to this morning, I woke up early, got ready around 6-ish, and decided not to run. I started having migraines yesterday afternoon and hoped that it would be resolved by the morning. I get back upstairs where she's getting ready for the day. She instantly mad at me, saying things like, this is unfair. Why didn't you think of me? I sacrifice so much for you. You've ruined my whole day. She then starts to cry and continues saying how unfair it is and how much I don't think of her. She goes downstairs and comes back up to again say how I don't think of her. I tell her that I didn't purposely try to ruin her day and that I can't control if I'm not feeling well. I apologize, saying it wasn't my intent. She says intent doesn't matter. I tell her that her reaction is poor. She says I should have woken her up so she could go work out. If you were so deathly ill, you could have told me. At the point, she wouldn't have made it to class. Both the gym and yoga studio are 20 minutes away. I totally get being frustrated. It makes sense. I tell her during the argument that her reaction was poor and it was akin to a 4-year-old not getting her snack. AITA. Usually I have a pretty firm opinion by the time I get to the end of this. Like, I'm definitely going towards NTA, right? Like I get that it's kind of not the most desirable that you don't get to work out when you want, but kind of just the layout of your lives is not really, it's not like him specifically that's not allowing that. It's just the layout of your lives. You have work and children. You have heat waves. Like, if your activity is inside and can be done later, whereas his activity cannot be done later because it's outside in the heat, it seems to me like it does make sense to do it the way he's doing it. And hey, if we had a schedule and I woke up with a raging migraine, I can tell you, I get crazy migraines, dude. I used to get a migraine like every 2 weeks. It was insane. They would last for like days on end too. Oh my God, I was suffering. Luckily, that's not really the case anymore. But anyways, kind of got sidetracked there. But like, you can't really help it if you just wake up feeling ill and don't do the exercise you thought you were gonna do. I think she is overreacting. Like, that ruined her whole day because you went, like, it didn't even disrupt her plan. That's the thing. Like, it only disrupted his plan. He's the only one who didn't get to do what he wants to. Like, her plan still goes out throughout the day. Like, she could still go out later and do her gym thing, right? I don't know. And his schedule probably should come first over hers, just because she has more flexibility in it, it looks like. She has childcare at the gym. She can go when he's not around. Whereas it sounds to me like he has a specific time he has to be at his job. You know what I mean? And particularly because she's a stay-at-home, they both rely on that job. You know what I mean? It's like that job is the only thing financially supporting it. So that job and scheduling around his ability to be at that job and do it well needs to take priority over most things most of the time. You know? I don't mean to make it sound like, oh, she's a stay-at-home, so she just has a free schedule. That's not at all what I'm saying. But I understand it might be difficult to schedule, but I'm just saying that job that pays for everything, that pays for that yoga studio trip, has to take precedence, you know? Let me scroll down a little bit and just see. Did I already read the comments? Oh. I accidentally clicked out. All right. I don't care what the comments were, because I'm not going to go all the way back in. Let's just read a different one. AITA for leaving my friend during an anxiety attack. Oh, that's very, very dependent on the situation. How often does she does it? How long has it been going on? Have you tried? That's very dependent. Let's see what the situation is. A friend of mine has several mental health issues, including agoraphobia, generalized anxiety, health anxiety, etc. I've been sitting here with her for 7+ hours a day while her roommate is at work for the past month because she doesn't like being alone and gets very anxious even if she's left alone. I've been looking for a job but doing Uber in the meantime, and I've had to Uber at night. She has asked multiple times to come over when I'm supposed to Uber, and I've done it, but last night I told her I couldn't. I had to leave during a panic attack and she got extremely upset. In her mind, she could have gotten better in 30 minutes, but instead got worse because I left her because she was anxious. AITA for leaving her while she was panicking. No. Again, yes, I do. Mental health is like a really interesting subject because, yes, to a certain degree, you should encourage and help and support the mental health of your friends, but this level is so far beyond a friend helping. This girl needs professional help. Like, this is too, like, This is too much of a problem for your regular friends and family to help you through. You need professional help. You need to work on yourself. Like, and also I was really frustrated with that last, in her mind, she could have gotten better in 30 minutes, but instead she got worse because I left. She's putting her anxiety and her mental health struggles as your responsibility when they are hers. Period. Like, particularly as you describe everything that you're doing for her, it's like you're doing a lot. It's not like you're just like, not gonna help, don't care. You're doing a lot. You're going really far out of your way to try to help her. And when it sounds like you're not even in the best situation yourself, like it seems like maybe you could even use some help. Because she's describing like looking for a job and having an Uber and stuff. It's like, I'll tell you, I worked Uber. It don't pay too much. Like, don't get me wrong, it's helpful when it's helpful, but like, it don't pay enough to like pay all the bills and stuff. So it sounds like she's not even in the best situation as it is and needs to be able to focus on herself and her job and getting her life right. You can't spend every second of every day being a caregiver for your friend. You know what I mean? Like, you're not her caregiver. If she needs a caregiver, she should get one. But you're not it. Like, caregivers get paid. That's a job because it takes all of your time. You know, if you're sitting here with her all day, that's a job. Like, I'd be sitting at my job all day. You need to get paid for it. So let me scroll down. If these comments say anything other than NTA. Oh, wow. This is the second comment, but boy, that really hits hard. Number 1, don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Number 2, you are not an emotional support animal. NTA, this is not for you to resolve. Period. I don't have nothing left to say after that. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. I think that's the best way that it could have been said. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Period. NTA, you care for her and that's why you've done so much already, but you're not her caregiver. These comments are using the exact words that I used even. NTA, your friend is nervous, so you can't go get a job? Do you hear how insane that sounds? If your friend literally needs 24/7 mental attention, they should be in a hospital. This person is absurd. I wouldn't go as far as calling them absurd. I don't know the situation that caused them to have such severe mental health issues, but I do agree. If this person needs that level of help, they need to not necessarily be in a hospital, but they need to get a caregiver. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's easy, but it's hard as hell probably. But that's the anxious person's responsibility at the end. NTA, you are not her therapist, and she's expecting you to do what she wants without much thought about how it will affect you. And yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about mental health. It's like, I used to think that the world wasn't emotional enough. And I've kind of I've like 180'd on that thinking, because I've realized, actually, my emotions, and a lot of people's, but I'll just use myself, like my emotions would just drown out other people's emotions. So to them, I might seem like I'm being completely dismissive of their emotions because I don't have emotions, but really it's because of my emotion. It's like, because my feelings are essentially more important to me right now than your feelings. So it seems like I don't care about your feelings because I don't have feelings, but actually it's because I have too many feelings. You know what I mean? I don't know if I explained that well. I don't feel like I explained that well, but anyways, NTA, it's kind of you to have done so much already. Yeah, let's move on because, as this commenter said, she sounds exhausting, and I am exhausted after reading that. What's happening? This sounds weird, so let's see what's going on. AITA for giving my daughter cursive worksheets. Why would that make you an a-hole? I can't even imagine. I, 43 female, have 3 kids, 15 Caroline, 10 Elizabeth, and 7 Jonah. All my kids are homeschooled. In order to prevent learning loss, we continue learning throughout the summer. We take small breaks throughout the year, and our summer schedule is more flexible. During the summer, we focus on problem areas rather than all the curriculum at once. Caroline in particular struggles with her penmanship and her math. I've been giving her cursive worksheets so she can have more practice with improving her handwriting. She's fine with this, and she Chose what cursive workbook she wanted to work on. She does a few pages a day. It takes her maybe half an hour, and then she does general copy work as additional practice. However, my husband, 44, has told me that Caroline should not be doing cursive worksheets every day because cursive is a waste of time nowadays, and he strongly disagrees with my encouragement of Caroline to work on her penmanship. He told me it's cruel to deprive my daughter of just being a kid over the summers by giving her cursive worksheets. AITA, edit. Caroline learned cursive before she learned print. I'm building upon her prior knowledge, not starting fresh. She has the choice between improving cursive or improving print, and she chose cursive. Yeah, why are you working on cursive? Because that is pretty obsolete, though. Like, he strongly disagrees with my encouragement of Caroline to work on her penmanship. Now, that's where I diverge from his opinion. I agree with the start of it, is that cursive is a waste of time nowadays. It is. I spent a lot of time in school learning cursive. When's the last time I used it? In school. Like, I don't use cursive at all. So I completely agree with that. But he strongly disagrees with my encouragement of her working on her penmanship. Now that's where you lose me, because penmanship is pretty important. Less so nowadays, I understand, but it is still pretty important. And I definitely think it's a skill that's still needed and should be. I just think it's weird that, like, you let her choose, because you're saying, like, she gets to choose between improving her cursive or improving her print. I don't think that should have been a choice that she gets to choose. One is useless and one is, like, somewhat helpful. I feel like the helpful one should be the, I don't know, it's like, I'm having a hard time forming an opinion. Let me go down. NTA. Your husband isn't wrong. Cursive is rapidly becoming a archaic skill that has no practical use. Caroline would prefer to not be doing it. I'd say it's pretty easy to let her go of it. And it's probably not something worth taking away or summer feeling for. If anything, she should be working in print instead. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I take no issue with the fact that she's doing worksheets during summer, because as the OP said, it's like, they have a weird schedule. I never really understood the whole, like, school schedule and months off for break. I do think it makes a lot more sense. And I went to school for briefly when I was young, where it was 3 months on, 3 months off, 3 months on, 3 months off, period. Or however, 3 or 4 months on, or whatever. Anyways, you get my point. It was like some time on, some time off. It wasn't like this huge time on and then a little time off and then this. I liked that a lot better. I found it so much easier to, like, stay in that learning. What she used the word, like, learning loss. I don't know a ton about homeschooling, but that, like, right off the bat, that kind of made a lot of sense to me, is where when I'm focused on something and doing it constantly, it's all there. But then if I take 3 months and don't think about that at all, I'm going to have a really hard time getting back started again. I found it a lot easier to just, like, yes, kids need break from school, but I don't know. And it's particularly the way she's saying it, it sounds like they're very, I don't know how to say it, like, I don't know, like, I like the homeschooling method of just learning in whatever way works for your kid, whenever it works for your kid. You know what I mean? I don't know, like, I'm gonna keep saying I don't know shit about education or kids or educating kids. I don't even have a kid, never put a kid through school, but I'm just saying, it seems to me like that makes more sense to just, like, have it be more frequent all the time. So I don't have any issue with them doing the schoolwork over this summer, but I do just think it's really weird that you're taking up summertime to do something that doesn't matter at all. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. Your husband is wrong. Plenty of studies show the benefit of cursive writing. Among them is proficiency with note-taking at a collegiate level and being able to properly sign your name. In children, it promotes fine motor skills and control and coordination. Yeah, and also it's just the fact that it's 30 minutes a day. I completely agree with that. That 30 minutes out of the day is not wrong to be focused on learning, even during summer break. I don't know if this comment is actually like factually checked, but it seems like, I don't know. It's believable, anyways. I don't know. But being able to work on fine motor skills and coordination and control and sit down at scheduled like follow schedules and get work done, even if you're not really loving it, those are pretty important skills for a kid to learn. So I'm going with NTA, but I don't think necessarily the husband's an A either, but I don't know. Okay. Let's just move on and see if we can find something else that sounds interesting. None of these sound interesting. My bad. Hold on. AITA for not letting my daughter work. That's very situational. Let's see. My 56 male daughter, 19 female, started going to college last year and asks all the time when she's going to start working, and when she says that I give her money and that I pay for all her things, most of them tell her that it's wrong and that I'm not helping her mature. Seems right to me. The thing is, I met my wife 39 when she was studying and working at the same time, and I know that life was really hard for her. Neither she nor I want that for our daughters. So we both decided that we don't want her to work while she is studying. Obviously, she earns money by helping her mother with some things at work, or sometimes she helps me or takes care of her siblings for a few hours so that her mother and I can go out. And with those things earned, she gets a good amount of money. Because we want her, even if she doesn't have a formal job, to learn that money is earned with effort. The thing is that my in-laws think I'm being a shitty parent who raises a parasite, their words, that they forced my wife to work and study so that they could be a functional adult and that she is successful thanks to that. And I know that that is not the truth. She barely ate 2 meals a day when I met her, and if she finished her studies, it was because I paid most of her tuition. Because she was studying a career that consumed all of her time, and that the job she could get didn't pay much. And I want my daughter to study, and for her only concern to be that. And so far, it has worked out because she is an exemplary student, so AITA for not letting her work. Edit. She is in med school, and here in our country, there are no jobs that she can do that are relevant to her future. There are days where she has classes from 7 a.m. until 6 or 7 p.m., and she needs to rest. I'm going with NTA. I understand the thinking that, like, financial literacy and learning to work hard in order to get the things you want is incredibly important, and the OP seems to understand that and do that in other ways. I'm a little confused as to why people are even going against this in any way. Oh, I guess it's the daughter, right? Yeah, so the daughter is being told from her friends or whoever that she's not being responsible because she's not working. I think that's those kids being jealous of her, frankly, because this is the ideal situation. She's learning financial responsibility and that you need to work to pay your own things and stuff, while also actually being able to focus on her moving forward. Like, this is how life used to be when parents could afford to do things like this for their kid. Your parents would pay for everything until you were a full-fledged adult with a job and all of the knowledge and everything already. And it definitely seemed to work better that way. I don't know, but it seemed like it, right? Like, she's describing the wife who was, like, struggling and having to take focus away from the studies to be able to try to pay for things. And he describes how she wasn't even actually capable of that. She needed help from this man, you know what I mean? So it's like, I do think that he is 1,000,000% right on this. And I think it's probably just her friends kind of, like, downing on her because they're jealous of the good situation that she has, honestly. Let me read some of the comments and see if they agree. She should really get a summertime job at least so that she has some experience on her resume when she graduates. My parents also didn't want me to work a job while I was in college and in session. They wanted me to focus on my work, but I did work during the summers and on breaks. Yeah, that's kind of a point. That's a decent point. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. In today's world, it is incredibly helpful to have work experience on a resume. Like, I'm not really sure if having these amazing grades and things like that would cancel that out, though. I kind of feel like it would. Like, even if you don't have any work experience, but you're obviously an exemplary student who just graduated, I feel like that still bodes well on you, though. But I don't see, but I don't see why a summertime job would be a bad idea, though. So it's like, why not? NTA, you are a gem among parents. Do your in-laws know that her life was really like that? And that she wasn't able to eat properly, and that it was because of their unbalanced idea of what a functional adult is? I really hate when people who don't know the entire story start sticking their noses in where they don't belong. Them calling you a shitty father and your daughter a parasite is laughable, or it would be if it weren't so tragic. Obviously, they are the ones who made it almost impossible for their own daughter to get through school. Working and earning money is a great goal, but you're right when you say that your daughter needs to focus on her studies instead of constantly worrying about where her next meal is going to come from or how she will pay her tuition. Sounds like your daughter is working hard at what she's supposed to do, which is study and learn and grow. Your in-laws are out of the ballpark. Yes, I'm not even going to finish that comment. I love this comment. It sounds like your daughter is working hard at what she is supposed to do, which is study, learn, and grow and mature. Period. At 19, like I said, a summer job, I would go for it. If you're feeling like you want to get some work on your resume, by all means. But just don't let it take away from you moving towards your future. If it can be added to that, great. And so that's why I do like the idea of a summer job. But I really very much like the end of this comment where she's doing what she is supposed to do at this stage in life, which is learn and grow and mature. And that is your job at 18, whatever, 19 years old. Like, that should be your job. This should be your main job anyways, right? NTA. So, okay. Actually, this is kind of a good point, though. Kind of maybe going off what that first person said about, like, having work resume. OP, I don't think everyone got the memo that your daughter is in medical school full time. This is not the average college experience. She will have rotations, which will be like internship. She will not struggle to find a job when she graduates because she hasn't worked, etc. You might need to add this info and edit your post. Yeah, okay. That's actually a really good point. That was kind of my thing. It was like, yeah, okay, it wouldn't help to have some work on the you're in medical school full time. You're right. I kind of didn't, like, I kind of knew that. I think they'd said that, but I didn't really, it wasn't the focus, you know what I mean? Again, though, it's like, if she wants to get a summer job, I don't see a ton of harm in it, but I do agree with the poster that she should be focused on school right now. Yeah, everybody's doing an NTA because they just feel like she should be focused on her studies and learning and growing and maturing. And I do too. I agree with that. Oh, I don't even know if I want to read this one because I might be so incredibly biased. Oh, God. Okay. I'm going to do it because I feel like it'll be interesting. Would I be the asshole if I didn't take care of my siblings after mom and dad died? Ugh. That's a hard one. It's like, no, but that sucks. Anyways, a few weeks ago, my 19 male dad died and has been extremely hard for all of us, but the person who has taken it the hardest is my mom. She spent most of her time either in a room crying or at the cemetery. Me and my girlfriend, Amanda, 19, have been taking care of my mom and my two siblings, a 13-year-old male and a 16-year-old female, and our daughter, a 6-month-old. I also work full-time and attend night classes at our local community college. Naturally, I'm constantly exhausted. Yesterday, my grandparents and uncle came to visit and see how we were doing, and they told me and Amanda, "You look like complete messes. When was the last time y'all slept?" And I told them between working, school, taking care of mom and all of the kids, we get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night. My uncle pulled me aside and told me I shouldn't be taking care of all of this. It was too much for someone so young, and I should just focus on raising my daughter and being there for Amanda. My grandparents offered to move in and take care of my mom and sibling, and I could move in to my own place with Amanda. But I'm not sure. I promised my dad that I'd step up and help my mom take care of my siblings like he wanted. I don't want to break that promise and disappoint him. Amanda said I wouldn't be breaking the promise and he wouldn't be disappointed if I did what was best for us and the baby. But I'm not sure. Would I be TA? Okay, I understand the emotional turmoil of this question, but from someone who's not feeling those emotions about it, this is a clear and obvious NTA. No, you're not. Let me just kind of put it this way, right? Take care of is a very broad statement that could mean a lot of things. In this case, I do think that the best way that mother and children can be taken care of is for someone else who's a little bit more capable, has more time, doesn't have a brand new baby and wife, isn't in school, to step up and be the main caregiver of that. I completely understand the feelings of feeling like, oh, I told my dad I would take care of her. Think about it as being the manager of a store, right? It's if something needs to get cleaned, I, the manager of the store, would tell my employee to clean it. But if my employee doesn't clean it properly, I get in trouble for that. Did I just confuse myself? What the hell am I talking about? Hold on. Okay, excuse me. I don't even know where I was. I literally confused the heck out of myself. I don't know where I was going with that. I got a bit behind in these videos and I'm trying to do a couple of them all at once right now. And I think my brain is getting a little bit overwhelmed with all of these. I don't know. I think my brain needs a break from this. So let's just finish this up real quick by reading the comments. You would not be the a-hole. Your two younger siblings need stability and support. Your mom needs time, and your daughter needs you and her mother. I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm sure your father, who raised a son like you, seems like he would be proud of you for becoming the best father you can be. I'm not saying that you could not be close for emotional support and help in the ways you can, but you must take care of yourself if you are able to care for anyone else. Your uncle is right. Thank you for summing it up the way that my brain was incapable of doing so, because that's what I was trying to say. Is basically, it's if you're unable to care for yourself and your wife and your kid, you are certainly unable to care for anybody else. If you're not able to take care of your base responsibilities, you can't take on anymore, period. No one can give what they don't have. That's exactly. Absolutely NTA. Take your grandparents' offer and make the best life for your child, who is your priority now. You won't be breaking your promise to your dad. You will be fulfilling it in the best way possible. You can't provide a better solution than the one that was offered to you. Facilitate this and you fulfilled your promise. That's what I'm saying. It's just if I promise to take care of something, if I promise to fix this water pipe, but my best friend who happens to be a plumber is coming around today and I have him do it instead, I fixed it. You know what I mean? Not saying but you know what I mean? It's I fulfilled my obligation. It doesn't necessarily matter that I did it. It just needed to get done, and it got done. Okay, first and foremost, you must take care of yourself before you can begin to take care of anyone else. If you're not in tip-top shape, how can you be there for others? Next, you did step up. Part of being a responsible adult is knowing when to admit you need a hand. That's what I was trying to go there with that whole manager business. I don't even know. I don't know. I really confused myself by saying that, because I don't think I wasn't saying what I was trying to say. Yeah, basically, being a responsible adult is knowing when you need a hand, is knowing when to ask for help and when to take it. I do think that's really important. Yeah, a strong, resounding NTA. Interesting. NTA. There is a reason airlines tell parents to put on their own oxygen mask before helping the children. Can't help anyone if you are out of commission. And exactly, that's kind of the whole point I was trying to get to, is that you made this promise to take care of them. If you're not able to take care of yourself, you will become unable to take care of them and therefore break your promise. The only way you can actually keep this promise in this case is to take help when you need it, so you're able to do the things you said you were going to do. All right, like I said, I think my brain needs a break. I know my brain needs a break because I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked that video, don't forget to hit the little thumbs up down below. Subscribe when you're hanging out down there. Don't forget to comment for engagement, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.